When I set out to make these videos, I say around 4 to 5 years ago, I wasn't doing it as a vanity project. It's like, hey, I have a camera. Let me just share my thoughts to you and see if you like them. I actually did it as a way of gaining therapy or achieving therapy. Of course, I won't bore you with the story of my two strokes, but I think I have to say this, and it really is tied into that. A year before, and you probably heard the story many times, but I lost my father. But after the strokes, after the recovery period, I lost a good friend of mine. He also suffered a stroke. One. I had two. And every day in my neighborhood, I passed by his old house. Of course, someone else in his family now lives there, but I passed by the neighborhood that I grew up in, and I'm thinking about all the times I spent with him and another young man who left us too soon, or when it was his time, he left us. In another house up the block, up the street, I lost another friend years ago, whose father then passed away around the same time I returned from the hospital to have my recovery period. And of course, these four individuals didn't pass away because of any violence in the neighborhood. They passed away because of natural causes. And I wonder why I am still here. Maybe to tell you that life is just too short. Life is short. I'm in an age now that just yesterday, for metaphorical reasons, I'm in high school. And it's funny because working in a school, I can remember when it was my senior year, and I'm working with seniors. Um, Life has a funny way of acting out, you know. But I can just say that my life, for good or for bad, has been interesting. I made tremendous, terrible mistakes, but at the same time, and I'm still in the middle of it, I'm having great accomplishments such as writing books, articles, sharing my words with other people, teaching writers workshops, you name it. I am doing that, and I'm enjoying what I do. But I also know that life is short. Each one of us, including you watching this, we're all going to die. And that's just an inescapable fact of life. We're going to pass. And then people may remember you, and then I'll say the majority will not remember you because they don't know who you are. My legacy is, of course, tied up in the books that I write, but let's be honest. I will be in the middle of a library somewhere, along with other authors, living or dead, and no one would even know. That is a cold fact of life, but life is always that way. When we think we need to get out of life, we often don't. And when we don't, we feel like we failed. We will feel like, what's life? What's the meaning of it? Well, the meaning is what you make of it. The meaning is what you accomplish in life, and it may be the smallest thing that can have a big impact. For example, working with a lot of young people, and even working with them over the years, I'm always surprised when I see a former student of mine and he says, "Hey, Mr. Chapman, you know, you were really good, man. You were a good teacher and all that, but I don't really I'm glad they say that, but really, to me, it just means I was doing my job. But to hear them say that, knowing that I'm a male, black, um, and just knowing that I am contributing to someone's life helps make me feel like I've done something. That's probably my purpose on earth, is to make young men and young women feel as if they have a place, feel as if they have someone they can talk to, they can turn to, someone that they can see that's living their life ahead of them and enjoying what he's doing. And that's all. I think each and every one of us has a purpose, but we just have to live life to find out what that purpose is. Of course, we would love to be rich. We would love to have the influence, the lifestyles of rich and famous, but oftentimes it doesn't work that way. Sometimes it just works out that we are there to lend a hand or help someone, or just to make sure that that person is doing their best. All I can tell you is that as long as I'm living, and by the grace of God, I'm still here, all I can do is just continue to be a helper to someone. Excuse me, I'm sorry, I had to step out for a minute. But all I can do is just live my life and hoping along the way that I've helped someone, that I've encouraged a young person to be their best. And if not, just to know that I made mistakes and learn from them, do better. Now, I can just tell you that I've made all these accomplishments. I've met all these people. I've done all these great things. But at the end of life, when I'm there in my hospital bed or in the midst of family, wherever my final days are going to be, all I just hope for, all I pray for, is that the life I lived would be a light to someone else who needs it. I don't ask for much in this life. I really don't. All I just ask is to do my best every single day. And when I don't, if I'm allowed to live another day, do much better. And also, just to keep an open mind and in terms of helping someone out and sharing advice. That's all I can ask for. So, Chapman, why are you going with this? Why this talk about death and what have you? I think it's because I pass by these houses every single day, and I remember the times I played football with these young men. I mean, I go to the store, pass by these same houses, and the memories start coming back. And of course, I miss those guys, you know. Maybe that's a reminder. I mean, you live in an area like South Los Angeles, which has been known for murder and death and all the other things that go along with it. But my friends didn't die at the hands of a bullet. They died because it was their time. South Los Angeles is not and has never been that terrible, although statistics will bear otherwise. But I mean, as far as the people living in it, that's what I mean. The violence and everything else, that goes with the territory. Illinois, New York, wherever the violence is, infinitely, that's what happens. And you can't dismiss that. But you can also say that the people living in this community are good-hearted people. People that believe in God, go to church, they work, they fill our local buses with people that are going to work, and even though the demographics are changing, it still doesn't take away these people are good-hearted and mean well. And of course, I'm digressing, and that's a subject for another time. All I want to just say before I close is that I do know that my actions will have an impact in where I go for the rest of eternity. I have to accept the fact that my actions may not have been the best. My decision making may have been terrible, but at the same time, again, I'll just keep improving and just keep getting better. But the one thing I want everyone to take away from this is that life flies in an instant. One day, you're a senior in high school, getting ready to graduate. The next day, you wake up in your bed and you have to talk to seniors who are thinking the same thing in their high school. One day, a senior now in 2024 is going to wake up, and if we're all fortunate at the time, in 2054 or 2064, they're going to wake up and say, man, where does the time go? Where does the time go? Exactly. So, as I'm talking to you, hope that each and every one of you just enjoy each and every day that passes. Because this particular day that you're watching this will never happen again. Not under the same date, not under the same year. You will just continue to keep on living, and hopefully for the better. But if not, just be grateful, be thankful that you had a life, you lived it, and with the distractions outside, that you enjoy the best of what you've been given, which is life. I have to talk to that yard man. But thank you so much for watching this. I really appreciate your support. Click the banner above to go to my website, or subscribe if you'd like to see more engaging content like this. Do thank you for your time. Have a good one, and take care.